I think it's always awesome when we have particularly our alums returning to speak to our student athletes. And here today we have 4 of our great alums who have come back. They have great jobs. They really can sort of give advice to you all, to our student athletes. And so I think it's even more important for people, and particularly for our women that are here as our student athletes, to hear from other successful women who have walked in their shoes here at the University of Michigan and then gone on to have great success afterwards in their different careers.
The best takeaway that I learned is that I'm not alone in this process of being a student athlete and then going on to the workforce. I think one thing that I'm nervous about is graduating and, not being an athlete anymore, like the identity of an athlete that I was my whole life. So just knowing that it's a group of us that aren't alone and people that have been through it and are now succeeding in the workforce, I think it's really important for us to know that there is a life outside of athletics.
From back in I came here in the early 80s, and there isn't one thing on this campus that hasn't changed. If you look at the landscape of all the buildings and the athletic facilities that we've built. But I think the biggest thing that I note is the opportunity for the women and for women athletes. The opportunities that we have today for the women athletes, the best thing you can say is it's equal to everything that the men have. And that's all that we've ever wanted in women's sports. That's all Title IX is about, is just having the opportunity to do this.
So I think when I first came here, I thought that I knew everything about myself and other people. I was very indignant, and I just didn't think that there was much to learn on like a people-to-people level. I thought I was a good communicator, I was a great leader, all the things that kind of got me here. I was very type A. But then, as life happens, I got into some arguments, maybe with a roommate or with a teammate or someone else on another team, and I realized that a lot of people were kind of always telling me about myself, and that had me starting to question who I was, and if I was mean or if I was nice or if I talked too much or if I was too aggressive or, not knowing who I was. And so thank God now, after 10 years, I can look back and think about, the journey to find who I am and to be assured and know who I am, so that even if other people question it, that's not something that I'm questioning.
I think my biggest takeaway from this event is that it's normal to be nervous about the future. I think it's a really big transition from being a student athlete to going into the real world, but I think that it taught me to be excited and be confident in my abilities and what I've learned as a student athlete. I think the panelists really emphasized how being a student athlete is like a job and how I can have bring a lot of the traits that I've learned from sport into future careers. So I'm excited.